Yo, how do you feel about the new style of the NBA? How's it going? A lot of three-point shots.
I don't like it because most of them can't shoot. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like the fact that the mid-range has been taken away to some degree. What I loved about watching Shea was him doing his thing. Not the strongest three-point shooter. God help him, the NBA, if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets a three-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
God help the NBA, because he got everything else, all right? And the brother brings it. And so I look at covering basketball. To me, there's 5 different positions for a reason. I know things have changed. I know the power forward spot ain't what it used to be. The center spot ain't what it used to be. I get that part. I totally understand that. But that don't mean we should like it. Like, you don't want to see pounding the ball, getting physical, a whole bunch of fouls being called. You want an up-tempo style. You want more fluidity brought into the game. So I understand what the NBA was thinking. But in the same breath, when it gets so soft that you eradicate toughness from the game, and I don't mean literally as if to imply the players aren't tough, because I would never say that. I'm talking about when the game is called tight, unless the pace is honored. That concerns me. And people keep thinking about Steph Curry. That's not me. I think about Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less. I think about when Jimmy Jackson got traded and arrived there, and this brother comes in the game and he commits a turnover, and the cat is racing down the court, and Jimmy fouls him and makes him go to the free throw line, and Mike D'Antoni whistles for him to come over here. He said, we don't do that here. You don't foul him, let him score. It quickens the pace. I don't want that. You see what I'm saying? I want it made tough for you. I want to see what you can do against a bona fide defense, not assisted by the league and its rules. I want to see that happen, because that's how we also get to judge players regardless of errors. And it's all a fun discussion. This notion, please stop letting people, don't fall for what these cats say. Oh, please, everybody got their own errors. Why y'all talk about that? God damn it, because we want to. Because we want to. We're talking sports.
Right.
Nobody talk about you and your woman, your wife or somebody, your family. You're talking the game.
Right.
What's wrong with talking the game? What's wrong with looking at MJ and comparing him to LeBron or Kobe or somebody? What's wrong? That's all a part of the game. What's wrong with looking at a T-Mac and saying, yo, if he had this teammate, if he had this squad, if he had this coaching, he would be able to do X, Y, Z. Or Grant Hill, what's wrong with speculating about, what if he had never had those ankle injuries? Could he have been of the same
tier
lineage as MJ and Kobe? Because I remind you, let's go back to college for a second. UNLV's in the national championship game, and what did they do to Duke? They annihilated that. They beat them by 30. They stomped them. The very, very next year, in the Final Four, Duke beat them. Same at UNLV squad, same Duke squad, with the exception of one person, Grant Hill. Grant Hill showed up there, and all of a sudden, Duke got a national championship. This is Grant Hill we talking about. Wasn't considered somebody that had the greatest jump in the world. Then gets drafted, comes to the Detroit Pistons. Brother was a Skywalker. Brother was doing his thing on everything. Grant Hill was legitimate. Why wouldn't we talk about that? Why would we say, let's not talk errors? I'm gonna look at Kareem and not compare to Ewing, Olajuwon, Sampson, Shaq, or anybody else. Why would I not do that? That's talking basketball. Those discussions, that dialogue celebrates the game. People don't want you to do it because they want to win in the argument, because they believe losing will ultimately compromise their brand because of what they're trying to accomplish in this day and age. Bump that shit. It's a conversation.
Right.
It's part of the game that we love. There is nothing wrong with talking about it as long as you're acknowledging somebody's greatness, and you're talking about them compared to other greats. So what? They don't finish first. They've convinced you in this day and age, led by people who will remain nameless because they don't want to have that damn conversation still playing, okay, that, oh my goodness, us talking about this, we shitting on the game. We are not. We are celebrating the game. We're celebrating the game. We're even celebrating you. if we got you 2, 3, 5, or whatever, because there's thousands upon thousands of players who played in NBA history and they ain't in the conversation.
Yeah.
We are celebrating you. Don't let them convince you that we dissing them. No, we're talking about the game. Talk about the game.
I'm not gonna lie. The watch fucking my eye up.
It is
blinging on
the sparkly.
Oh, the AP?
I don't know what it was. It was just that light was just up sitting here trying to move. Like, that's gonna rate you.
Well, you can do it when you're getting that level.
Let me go ahead and tuck mine on.
Let's talk about the state of the league real quick. Past few years, we've seen several teams sell to new majority owners or ownership groups. Mavs, Suns, Celtics, Lakers, most recently the Blazers. So NBA Board of Governors recently unanimously approved the Celtics sale for a record $6.1 billion, most for any sports franchise in history. That'll be eclipsed by the Lakers sale, which is finalized at a $10 billion valuation. But how will all of these teams selling impact the state of the league moving forward?
It depends on the owner. You got to remember that when you buy a franchise like the Lakers or the Boston Celtics, that's collateral for your ass. You know, you good. You know, you can borrow from anything. You don't have to spend you don't have to spend your money ever again. You know, because you you go to get loans, you go to get financing, and you have this brand as collateral. That goes a long, long way towards facilitating anything that you want to do. And I think that what I like about it, the new owners for the Lakers, is that this cat clearly has deep pockets that to rival Steve Ballmer with the Los Angeles Clippers. I like that kind of thing. You know, I appreciate Jeannie Buss, who's been great, and she's still gonna be running things for the Lakers, and I get it. So because we don't want her to go away because she's a treasure to the game, but in the same breath, it's like financially, it seems like a mom and pop shop compared to a lot of other teams in the league. And that's no longer the case. And because that's no longer the case, who knows what the Lakers are going to be able to do. You got a cap that you have to honor and what have you. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that you can do when your franchise is valued at that enormous number. And I think that the Lakers being in that position is definitely good for the league because it gives the sense that their relevancy won't dip. And as long as their relevancy, that of them, the Knicks, Boston to a lesser degree, I think when you have those teams, relevant, that's a big, big deal for the league and a big benefit.
Gil's been saying that.
It's the truth.
But also just now, new TV deal, 11-year, $77 billion deal. A lot of different moving parts, obviously inside the NBA, coming over to ESPN, not really certain what that's going to look like, but you got NBC, Amazon, some other players in the game. Just how do you think this new TV deal, you got MJ coming back in some capacity.
I'm very happy about
with NBC, just
Right.
just the state of the league, future of the league now under this new TV.
Look,
Dub Nation, we need to talk because this just dropped and I'm not okay. The Warriors are officially the only NBA team that hasn't signed a single player this offseason. No trades, no signings, no movement at all. Just silence. And that silence, it's starting to test Stephen Curry's patience. Yeah, him, our leader, our icon, the guy who's carried this franchise for over a decade with unreal loyalty, who never complains, who always trusts the process. When a guy like that even hints at frustration, you better believe something's going on. During his annual camp, Steph said it plainly, "We have a really good team, but we do know we need some pieces to help get us to the next level." That might sound mild, but for someone like Steph, that's loud. Let's rewind. Back in February, the front office made a bold move. They traded for Jimmy Butler. That was a statement, a declaration to Steph, we're still in this. And it worked. Jimmy brought leadership, toughness, and real playoff energy. With him, we won 23 of the last 31 games. There was a legit spark. It felt like the dynasty still had some gas in the tank. But then came the Minnesota series, and just like that, season over. The message was clear. The team needs more. The offseason was supposed to be about building on that momentum, about showing Curry that the Butler trade wasn't a one-off, it was a shift. But instead, radio silence. And the only thing that has happened, we lost Kevon Looney. Not just any role player, but a culture guy, a defensive anchor, a true warrior. He's off to the Pelicans for $16 million over 2 years. And in return, rookies, no proven vets, no upgrades, just Alex Tuhey and Will Richards. And let's be real, rookies and two-way guys aren't moving the needle in a loaded West. So what's the holdup? One name, Jonathan Kuminga. The dude is a restricted free agent, and his contract talks have become a total soap opera. Reports say the Warriors offered something around 2 years, $45 million. But Kuminga's camp is reportedly considering taking the $7.9 million qualifying offer, betting on himself and hitting unrestricted free agency in 2026. And until that's resolved, the front office has gone full freeze mode. No new signings, no trades, just stuck. Now, look, I get it. Kuminga is a valuable asset. He showed real growth last season, and he deserves a serious deal. But a championship team can't let one negotiation stall an entire offseason. Not when you've got a 37-year-old Stephen Curry still playing at an MVP level. He doesn't have time for front office indecision. Every offseason without meaningful moves is another year of greatness slipping away. What stings the most is the contrast. Back in February, boldness, urgency, vision. Now, hesitation, caution, and vibes. Meanwhile, teams like Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Houston, even San Antonio, they're making moves. They're loading up. They're making sure their stars feel supported. And us? We're betting on internal chemistry. Come on, man. Steph's never been one to cause drama. No cryptic tweets, no locker room chaos. But when he speaks up about the roster, that hits different. That's leadership under pressure. That's a GOAT running out of patience. And if the front office doesn't respond, if they keep dragging their feet, they're not just risking a wasted offseason, they're risking the end of something legendary.
Let's get into the heart of it, because this situation with the Warriors, it's not just quiet, it's concerning, and it starts with Jonathan Kuminga. Look, I love Kuminga. We all do. The flashes he showed last season, legit. He's explosive, improved his shot selection, gave us key minutes, and actually looked like a foundational piece moving forward. But right now, his contract standoff is handcuffing the entire organization.